Welcome to our Garter Tab cast-on tutorial. A garter tab is used in many top-down shawls. The reason for it is that if you just cast on and started working, it would create a gap, whereas creating a little piece of garter stitch allows you to create a really nice edge along the top of your shawl. The number of stitches you cast on determines the thickness of the border that you have at the top. In this case, I'm going to use 3 stitches, as you see here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast on 3 stitches. You can cast on for a garter tab in 2 ways. You can do it provisionally, so your live stitches are ready to pick up, or you can do it with just a regular cast on. In this case, I'm just going to use a regular cable cast on to cast on 3 stitches. So those are my 3 stitches. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to knit 6 rows of garter stitch. I'm going to knit 6 rows of garter stitch because I want to pick up 3 stitches along that side edge, and I need 1 set of garter ridges for each stitch that I want to pick up. Once I've worked all of the rows that I want, in this case 6 rows, I come to the end of my 6th row, but I do not turn my work. Instead, I rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to pick up 3 stitches, 1 for each of the garter stitch bumps that I have created in my piece. Often there is great concern among knitters about picking up here correctly. I am less fussy, although I do like to pick up in the right places, particularly on this edge, but my advice here is to knit it so that one side is tidy, the one that's facing you, and that you hide any irregularities in your pickups behind it, so you have your wrong side and your right side. So in this case I'm picking up along the garter bumps as you would expect, and then I'm going to pick up along the cast on edge. And I'll show you how you can make sure that this is as tidy as possible, but not to be overly concerned, because you can hide any oddness in the back of the work. Anyone who's looking at your shawl from that close is too close. So now I'm just going to pick up the 3 stitches along my cast on edge, and then we'll take a look at, you can give it a little push. It can be a bit tight. Don't pull your slip knot so tight if you want to be picking up into it. So what we'll see here is that this is the right side of the work, and you can see that that looks quite tidy, but when you look at the back it looks a little bit where your bumps are hidden, and that's why you don't need to be too fussy as long as you're hiding any irregularities in your pickup at the back of the work. You have now picked up your garter tab, and I'm going to work a wrong side row. I always work a wrong side row before I start my shawl to make sure that, again, I've hidden anything that I haven't done quite right. So now I'm going to work the 3 garter stitch edge stitches. I'm doing a stocking stitch body, so I'm going to purl across the next 3 stitches, which are going to make up my body of my shawl, and then I'm going to knit the other 3 stitches that make up my garter edge as well. And that's it. That is how you do a garter tab. The next thing you would do is you would place markers, or you would start working your shawl increases. You can see here how they relate. So you have your garter stitch piece across the top, your 3 stitches that make up the body, and then 3 on each side of your edge stitches.